All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're up here at the amazing Vaden Chevrolet in Pooler, Georgia, up here all the time. And we got planes coming in. Look at that one coming in right now. We're probably gonna have to pause for him so we can hear. Where'd he go? There he is. Coming in and landing at the Savannah Airport, which is right across the road over there. It is a great place to visit, great place to shop. Tanger outlets are right there. We're gonna have to pause this for a second so we can hear. Hold on. All right, so we have two trucks right here. Both are 2025s. 2026s are starting to pop out. That black one is our only 2026 Trail Boss here in the Colorado world right now. But we have a ZR2, Colorado ZR2. We have a Bison ZR2. This one is basically a $10,000 package over this one. Both are front and rear lockers. Both have got full protection packages in them and that kind of stuff. Both are the same motors. Both are the same gear ratios. Both are the same. This one has got 35-inch tires, 33-inch tires here. You can see the oversized fender flares on this one, okay, and they also come up higher on the fender to accommodate the wheel or the articulation of the tire versus the 33s. See, this 33 stops right here, and you got this gap right here. Look at how little that gap is here because these come up so much higher to give more clearance for those big 35-inch tires that are on here. This one is definitely dirty. They probably, because they took it from their other lot over there, which is all mud. Same with that one. His lots are all mud off of here where they overflow, okay, but I mean, you can see this truck right here, 33-inch tire, or 35-inch here, 33-inch here. There is a difference there. They're not huge. It's not really a whole big noticeable difference, but it is a big difference giving this 1 more inch of clearance. Plus, this gets a 3-inch factory lift versus, or this gets a 3-inch. No, these both get 3 inches. The Bison and the ZR2 get a 3-inch. The Trail Boss gets a 2-inch. But these are, you can see the height difference just from those 35-inch tires on this. You can see that difference right there. Now, the other big difference, okay, the big difference, that's what people seem to think. They're like, well, 35s for 33 is $10,000. It's not worth it. However, there is so much more to this than just the tires. And that's what we want to talk about today. So we have the front bumper. Here's your standard ZR2 front bumper. Okay, this is plastic, pointless plastic. This, steel. Okay, we have a steel AEV edition bumper. Fog lights are still there, but we have a full steel bumper. Here we have an aluminum skid plate. Here we have boron steel skid plates tucked in there really nice, but these are boron steel. Very lightweight, yet very indestructible. Okay, so we got a very big improvement in the skid plate design. If we look under this, let me take you and roll you up. Okay, look at this. There's that setup there. Here's the setup here. Okay, very big difference in the skid plate stuff that we got going on. Huge difference in the front bumper. I bet this front bumper is $4,000 in its own right, maybe $5,000. Give you an example, ZR2, this Chevy ZR2 little baby winch bumper, this little stubby bumper here, this little bolt-on add-on, it's winch ready with a light bar. So light bar, this is $4,000 from Chevy. It's listed right here on the window sticker. We just got done talking about it. $4,000 bumper package for just this right here from Chevy. AEV bumper, 1,000 times better. Okay, that thing is everything. That bumper is absolutely incredible. Better clearance than ease access to the things in there, and you can get this winch ready as well too. But I love this bumper. I love this setup on this truck, so they do a great job there. 35-inch tires, and like I said, the oversized fender flares on here make a big difference. Everything else on here, as we're seeing, are pretty much the same. Like I said, same motor, same setup. We get big differences when we get to the back. Again, you can see the size difference in the fender flares and the height of the truck and the tire size. Big differences, okay? Now, when we come to the back, we have a standard rear bumper on here. Standard rear bumper. And then we get our spare tire tucked up right under there. Here we get a AEV bumper. Okay, now notice something on this AEV bumper that we don't get on this one. What's different? Look at here. I'll give you a hint. Okay, what are we seeing different on here? Notice that this one has got recovery points. Do you know how important those recovery points are? If you are going to run a winch off of your hitch, which is the #1 way I recommend it, a winch on the front of the vehicle is to pull other people out, not for yourself in most situations. Usually you want to go out the way you came because you cannot get through an obstacle. You want to go backwards. Putting a winch into a hitch receiver is a fantastic way to run one. They are very simple and functional, and they work incredible. However, if you want to bring that line out and then double that line and put it around a snatch ring and bring it back and hook up, you have nothing to hook up to here. Nothing there. Here, we do. Or if you're stuck really bad and your buddies are going to pull you out, being able to bridge from these 2 points together in a bridle and pull it out together from those 2 points at the same time, worth its weight in gold. Here, all you have is a receiver as your only tow point, recovery point. So this rear bumper, worth its weight in gold as far as I'm concerned. Also notice, unfortunately, no spare tire under here. Okay, it will not fit. It does not fit. So in the Bison edition, they put it back here. That sucks. That sucks bad. I would be removing that immediately, get rid of it. Matter of fact, what I would do is I would actually take that rim and I would put a 34 on it. And the biggest 34 that I could fit between the frame rails under here, 33 or 34, and I would put that back under here where it's supposed to go, and I would just let it be a smaller tire and know how to deal with it, which I do know how to deal with it as far as where I got to put it for open differentials if I have a flat. And I would just stick to, like I do, with dealing with plug kits and valve stem repair kits that I carry in my truck. On my Power Wagon, I have a 33-inch spare under there because a 35 will barely fit, but I did not put a 35 spare. I got 35 mud terrains on my truck, yet I got a 33-inch spare. I know how to make that work. Okay, so I would do the same here. If I own this truck, I would get rid of this. I would sell that tire, and I would put a cheap 33 or 34 inch on that rim and stuff it back under the truck where it's supposed to go is what I would do. Or I would put Billy Bar cross rail systems on here and mount that thing horizontal up on the top of that, something like that. I don't know, but I cannot stand that. I want a tonneau cover on it, or I'd get an RSI smart cap and put it over top of this whole system and let that still sit there or something. I don't know, but that's the only downside to this truck. With that said, is the value here $10,000 more valuable than a regular ZR2? In my opinion, yes, it is. Would I buy one? No, I would not buy this truck. I cannot afford that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money, especially when they don't make a lot of these and they don't deal these as well as they do a ZR2. A ZR2 getting 15%, 20% off is actually doable. 15% should not be that hard. I would say 15% is doable. Where this, you're probably not going to get 15% off unless you really got some magic skills or to hit the timing just right at the right dealership. So there's more value in this one, but I do believe this is worth 10 grand more. I bet this bumper is a $4,000 bumper here and a $4,000 bumper on the front. Okay, you got different specialty wheels on here that are by AEV wheels that are on these things, and these wheels are absolutely gorgeous. They're going to be worth some money. 35 inches from 33s is a huge transition. You also get the joust stop. These are $2,700 for these joust dampers, where here you don't get the joust damper, you just get the DSSV shocks, but you also get the joust damper. There is a tab mounted right here to mount those joust stops, but like I said, $2,700 extra option. So when you add the $2,700, the few $1,000s for the wheels, extra grand for the tires, $4 grand for the rear bumper, $4 grand for the front bumper, a couple grand for this set. You see where I'm getting at here? This $10,000 Bison package is worth the price of the $10,000 Bison package. I just don't know if it's worth it to you or to me, but it is worth it. And of all this entire thing, what I would want more than anything is that rear bumper. The most important thing to me would be that rear bumper. Not even this front one. It's not offering a whole heck of a lot more clearance. The skid plates both work on both. I'm not concerned there. This isn't protecting me from deer. Deer are going to take the whole grill out anyway. This would be a better deer protector, but I sure in the heck am not paying $4 grand for that setup either. So it is what it is. Just don't hit deer. Don't hit things on the front. But having I got 2 recovery points on the front already. See them there, red. Having a double recovery points on that back bumper is worth its weight in gold. And I would take this one and I would put a 34 on it, split the difference between the two of them, keep the tire mounted underneath and be all happy. But it is true, that Bison edition, that's why it costs 10 grand more. And in my opinion, to most people, very well worth it. What's your opinion? Let me know. Thanks for watching.